Hey there, welcome back. More Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Uh, so don't actually have a whole lot left to do. So I'm gonna do the Geth activities here. I think all that's left, think, in terms of side quests, it's that, and there's Pinnacle Station, and that might be it for side quests. Before I do the Geth incursions,
Never a dull moment with you, Shepard.
You ever go on any missions like ours before?
Saving the galaxy from certain destruction? No. But I've had my share of adventures.
Do you remember any that stick out?
this is a good one.
A few. I remember one time I was hired by a Volus diplomat.
This is a great conversation.
What an ass.
I guess even politicians have need of mercs from time to time, huh?
Time to time. If it wasn't for politicians, I'd be out of work. They're always looking for ways to get ahead. This one was no different. He wanted me to erase his past. Get rid of an old friend who knew too much. Huh. His old friend turned out to be an Asari commando.
Yeah, Commandos, you may remember from the from the Codex, that Asari Commandos are considered to be some of the most dangerous fighters in the galaxy. Mass Effect 3 will have an additional Codex-like entry that actually gives an example of just how unbelievably dangerous and amazing Asari commandos are. So you can look forward to that. But yeah, they are not to be trifled with.
I can see where that might give you pause.
What? No. Alina and I were old friends. Sort of. We met when we were both contracted to kill the same Turian. Neither of us wanted the other one to get him first. We spent more time fighting each other than tracking that Turian.
Which one of you made it first?
It was a tie.
Heh.
I brought back his head. She got the rest of him. As far as I know, we both got paid.
Hold on a minute.
Anyway, when I told Alina about the diplomat's contract, she and I had a good laugh about it.
Wrex, the big hulking Krogan, took the head and left the rest of the body to, the little Asari lady? Little Asari woman? Come on, Wrex. Take the body yourself. You can carry the body way easier than she could. I mean, obviously she's a merc. I mean, obviously she can handle herself. She's clearly going to be a hardcore badass. And I mean, if she can actually, go as a tie, she was able to compete against Wrex. So clearly not a pushover. Obviously she's very strong. But at the same time, Wrex is massive. He can handle the body way better than she could have. He should have let her have the head, and he takes the body. It just would have made more sense. But anyway.
So what'd you do?
Well, I wasn't going to lose the contract, but I respected Alina. In the end, I let her pick the location where we'd fight. She chose some old Solarian space station overrun with mercs and smugglers. That way we didn't have to worry about hurting any innocent bystanders. She always was a bit of a softie.
I like that. We just have to worry. We don't have to worry about innocent bystanders. It's just a whole bunch of criminals that we can kill without, without any thought of morality.
What happened on the station?
What didn't happen? For 2 days, I chased her through that station. Used my entire store of ammunition. Had to kill a bunch of mercs and use their crap weapons. By the 3rd day, the station was barely holding together. The mercs were dead or gone. Life support was failing. But I had her. She'd locked herself in the med labs. She was trying to patch herself up. Damn tough, that one.
Yep.
Then just when I thought I had her, the station's core went critical. Barely made it back to my ship in time.
So he mentions using up his entire store of ammunition. I want to remind you that ammunition doesn't actually exist in this setting. Instead, they've got big blocks of metal in their guns. And, just little chips are just sheared off and fired. So, they can last hundreds of rounds easily. He ran out. That's a lot of shots fired. Like, that is just a ridiculous amount of shots fired. And, she stayed alive for those entire 2 days. So clearly, she's pretty tough, too.
I assume the Asari Commando didn't make it.
I watched the station from a distance. I never saw her leave. And when that place blew, there was nothing left larger than a Turian's right nut. So I headed back to the diplomat to give him the good news and collect my pay. But before I got halfway there, Alina sent me a message. Better luck next time.
Nice.
Now, I'm not superstitious, but if someone can survive that, well, they deserve to live. At least for a bit longer.
What about the diplomat? He wanted her dead.
I told him the truth. Alina was still alive and she was really pissed. I told him if he wanted to live, he'd need me around to protect him.
Gutsy. That takes a quad.
And he believed you.
He kept me on as his personal guard until he died. Natural causes. Easiest job I've ever had. A little boring, but credits are credits.
So long, Wrex.
I love that story. That is such a cool story. Really highlighted Wrex's badassness.
Commander?
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I should get back to my duty, Skipper. Rifles don't maintain themselves. Not yet, anyway.
Dismissed, Chief.
And,
Ma'am?
I will note that Rex's story might be worth keeping in mind.
Commander, I wanted to thank you.
For some, it's probably worth keeping in mind for one particular conversation that happens in Mass Effect 2.
What for, Garrus?
For everything. Taking me with you, letting me be part of your team. I've learned a lot. I've thought a lot about what you've told me. About not sacrificing innocence to achieve the goal. About finding the best way through, not just the fastest. And I've been thinking about Dr. Saleon too. I'd convinced myself that he deserved to die, but then I started thinking about why I wanted him dead.
I mean, he did deserve it.
I realized it wasn't because of what he did to those people. That was part of it, but I think most of it was because he got away from me. He escaped under my watch, and I didn't like that. I let it become personal.
Words mean nothing until you turn them into action, Garrus. What are you gonna do about it?
Well, I'm going back to C-Sec. I think I can make a difference there. I'll also
Good.
reapply for Spectre training, but I'll do it right. I won't compromise myself to get there.
Well,
If
you'd
the
make
people
a hell of
I've
a
sworn to
Spectre.
protect can't trust me, then I don't deserve to be the one protecting them.
Nice. Real good, Garrus.
I'm glad you see it that way. Keep that in mind when we meet Saren.
Don't worry, Commander. I will.
And don't think Tally has anything new to say just now.
Hey, Shepard. You need something?
I should go.
See you later.
Okay, nothing new from her. Yeah, I figured just some very, very quick conversations. Just finish up any conversations on the ship, and then go kill some Geth. Might split this side quest into 2 episodes, because it is multiple planets that we end up going to. Oh, snap. That's not where I want to go. Whoopsie. Kaden! What's new with you?
Anything you need, Commander?
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
We're all in for the duration. You can count on everyone to do their duty.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Ah, thanks, Kaden. Thank you, Kaden. I appreciate the support.
I get the feeling you want to ask me something, Commander.
I just wanted to talk.
Of course, Shepard. What did you want to talk about?
I should go.
Goodbye, Shepard.
Alright. So. Pretty much done with the conversations then. Is it the Armstrong Nebula where all the Geth are? Yes.
Message coming in from the brass at Arcturus. Patching it through.
Normandy? Admiral Hackett here. We're getting reports of a marked increase in Geth activity in the Skyllian Verge. Surveillance drones have identified Geth outposts on 4 different planets in the Armstrong cluster. We need someone to take them out.
We have any idea what they're after?
Hard to say. They may be just gathering intel on us. Or maybe they're setting up staging grounds for hit-and-run attacks on human colonies.
It could be the first wave of an invasion.
Let's hope not. We need someone to investigate this, Shepard. Finding Saren is still your top priority, but you've got experience fighting the Geth. You're the logical choice to take out these outposts.
Plus, it's good
We're
experience.
transmitting all the locations of known Geth outposts in the Armstrong cluster to the Normandy now. Admiral Hackett out.
Alright. Oh. Gagarin, Tereshkova, on Vamshi. There is a naming pattern here. I forget exactly what it is. Give me a second here. Yes, landmarks in human space exploration. So yeah, they are all named after notable things. So, Gagarin, obviously, Yuri Gagarin, the first human to orbit the Earth. Tereshkova. named after Valentina Tereshkova, the first woman to fly in space. Hong. Probably named for China's first successful satellite, the Dongfang Hong, or Red East 1. And Vamshi. I don't know. The Mass Effect wiki doesn't say. And then Armstrong, obviously, Neil. I don't think I need to... Pretty sure I didn't need to specify that part of it. Anyways. Junthor is a large terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere of carbon dioxide and chlorine. The surface is mainly composed of aluminum with deposits of nickel. Surveyors found the ruins of a technical civilization near the equator, evidently the colony of an ancient spacefaring race. The ruins had subsided to almost nothing, merely wind-hollowed husks of arcologies and other megastructures. In the center of the ruins was a single column whose inscriptions defied translation for several centuries. When Asari linguists finally managed a translation, the elaborate relief carvings said merely, "Walk among these works and know our greatness." The crude scratches on the base of the reverse side said, "Monsters from the id." Very much a look on these works, ye mighty and despair vibe there. Blanking on what that's from. Ozymandias, yes. Yeah, definitely some Ozymandias vibes on from that. As for monsters from the id, who knows? More writings. Scans revealed a wrecked freighter orbiting one of Junthor's smaller moons. A recon team found no signs of life, but they did recover one of Matriarch Delnaga's writings. Solgelaris is a small terrestrial planet with a thin atmosphere of nitrogen and argon. The frigid surface is mainly composed of water ice, which can be plainly seen in the bottoms of recent craters. The dark coloration of the surface is caused by a carbon and ferrous material pushed up from the denser core by cryovolcanic processes. The planet I need to go to. Prussia. Under Prussia. Prussia is a relatively small hydrogen-helium gas giant with large amounts of hydrocarbons in the middle layers of the atmosphere. When the Krogan rebellions ended 3 millennia ago, the Turian chief of naval operations, a distinguished soldier named Mercury, declared his immediate retirement. He disappeared into what was then uncharted territory. It was only 200 years ago that his ship was found on the surface of Prussia's largest moon. It had landed gently and been deliberately shut down. Of Admiral Mercury, however, no trace was ever found. Very intriguing. That is really interesting. Antirumgun is a small rock and ice planet with a trace atmosphere of methane and ethane. The frozen surface is mainly composed of carbon with deposits of calcium. Antirumgun has been used as a crude anchorage for Terminus pirates for many years. The shells of temporary dwellings blasted by Alliance frigate patrols dot the surface, but always the pirates return to ground their ship's drive charges, chip out some water ice, and trade slaves and stories. The deeper layers of Antirumgun's interior are semi-liquid slush due to the presence of methanol. It is thought that bacterium in the deep core create this natural antifreeze. Some species of Terminus pirate drill through the ice crust to recover this natural alcohol. Cobalt. This planet looks cool. Rayangri is a small, barren terrestrial world. While it possesses a reasonably temperate climate and number of useful resources, no mining corporation is willing to risk investment. A rogue planetoid, dubbed Vox by the initial Solarian surveyor team, entered the system approximately 10,000 years ago and was trapped in a decaying orbit around Rayangri. It is nearing the end of its slow spiral inwards. Earthquakes and cyclonic windstorms are increasingly common on Rayangri. Within a few hundred years, the planets will rip each other apart. Some Asari travel consortiums have already announced sponsorship of cruises to observe the spectacle. Worth remembering that, yeah, Asari live for 1,000 years, so there are Asari who probably will be all around to still be a lot, who will be able to see it. Asari alive today who will be able to see planets ripping each other apart. Let's see, I'm going up against Geth, so Tali. And why not? Ash. Haven't leveled up Ash in a bit, apparently. Sure, why not? Ooh, been a while for Tally. Sure. Perfect. And, just so you know, yeah, that's it. Everyone's got, I didn't bother putting, yeah, she's got it good. Oh. Just realizing I didn't update her. Where are they? Tungsten rounds. Perfect. Alright. Alright. Yeah, this side quest is one of the better examples of the problems with the side quests in this game. It's, it gets repetitive real fast, unfortunately. That said, they do try to keep it a little bit interesting, just in terms of the encounters you have with the Geth. There we go. And hopefully I can find League of One medallions, because I am getting close to the end of the game and I don't have all of those yet. Yippee. Nothing the least bit useful. Overrun research outpost. Presumably means Geth there. Research outpost. Wonder if that means that this place was this planet. Probably studying the effects of the the whole planet's getting closer and closer to destroying each other. I'd imagine that's sort of what the research outpost's there for, is just to study the effect. Seems like the kind of thing that'd be interesting to study.
Heading out.
Alright, thorium. Not sure what kind of useful information you'd get from a study of planets getting closer and closer to each other and affecting their... I suppose there's no such thing as useless knowledge. Perfect. Oh, right. Yeah, for once there's an actual path with, like, markers along it. Dang it. No, that's not the gun I want. Give me that. Hallie's got her shotgun. Because apparently... Because clearly she's just a lot more badass than she looks. I mean, look at her. She doesn't look particularly big, and she doesn't act really very threatening. But shotguns are not. Shotguns are like, what's that? Level 10 weapons now. I feel like shotguns are basically the most screw you weapons out there, you know? At least in terms of guns you can actually hold. Oh, husk.
Think we're good, Commander?
Kind of forgot that there were husks in this one. I was coming into this place expecting, yeah, ready for Geth, but... Husks, okay, I can deal with them. Oh, and there's the Geth. Jeez, dude.
Powering up.
A little warning next time, guys? Just come right around the
All
corner.
clear, Commander.
I don't mind admitting that I was startled. Alright.
I smell trouble!
Okay, wasn't aiming for the sniper, but sure. Oh, hey there.
Clear.
Piece of cake. For the record, whenever you're going up against enemies that can jam your sensors like that, that is what things like the combat optics are for. I don't really bother with them. I prefer just straight up higher damage. But yeah. But on the other hand, yeah, if you don't know where the enemies are, that can be a problem, so it can absolutely be worthwhile to
Enemy sighted. One down, 3 to go.
we're not actually done with this planet just yet. Yeah, I should have expected the Geth. I should have noticed. I didn't even notice the dragon's teeth outside. So that really should have clued me in on the not the Geth, but the husks. I was paying no attention to my surroundings. Let's just kind of autopilot. Most of these side quests, honestly.
Redeploying.
Polonium. Alright. Dang it. There we go. Alright. No, that doesn't look like a thresher nest. Alright.
Heading out.
Come on, League of One. Yes. This downed pod contained a League of One medallion. Its owner is nowhere to be found. Perfect. And anything else on this planet that's interesting at all? There actually is. Unmarked. So pretty much just straight north, I think. And this isn't the only thing, point of interest left on the map.
On my way.
The scavengers who made this camp are gone. They seem to have abandoned it abruptly some time ago. And once again, just head a little bit north. There we go. Just gotta get over there. Luckily, this planet isn't too bad for navigation.
Securing point.
Scavenger corpse. The burnt corpses, evidently a mom-and-pop independent salvage team, show signs of close-range hits from Geth heavy particle beams. And whatever was here, the Geth seem to have taken it with them. Or there was nothing worth taking. Alright, and that's that planet done. As Ashley noted, 1 down, 3 to go. Tereshkova. That's the planet I need to go to, so... Solmarlon is one of Tereshkova's 2 outer worlds. Significantly removed from the rest of the system, and with unstable elliptical orbits, it is thought they may have formed within 3 AU of the binary stars, and were hurled outward due to the instability of such an orbit. Solmarlon is a hydrogen-helium gas giant with significant quantities of sodium in the upper atmosphere, giving it a distinct gray color. Mawanor is the second of Tereshkova's outer worlds. It is essentially a rock of unremarkable ores, with some deposits of water ice, but no minerals of value. The frozen surface is composed of silicon. Like the gas giant Solmarlon, it is thought that Mawanor had formed too close to the Tereshkova stars and was thrown outwards by gravitational effects. Computer models suggest it will be ejected from the system in a few 100,000 years. Oh, so soon? Thejus is a terrestrial world with an atmosphere of chlorine and krypton. The surface is mainly composed of silicates with deposits of carbon. Thejus has a low mass for its size and is tidally locked to the star Tereshkova A. The temperature difference between the sunward hot pole and the dark side cold pole creates a constant gale force winds across the Terminator. And Mercury. Patamalris' atmosphere is very similar to Venus in terms of pressure and temperature. Unlike Venus, however, Patamalris' atmosphere has significant quantity of oxygen, both free and bound in sulfur dioxides. The surface is largely composed of magnesia with deposits of carbon. It is possible, if unlikely, that simple life may be developing on Patamalris. Computer modeling suggests that the powerful solar winds from the Tereshkova stars will blow off Patamalris' atmosphere in a few million years, lowering the temperature on the surface to the -70s. And iridium. Yeah, while this is supposed to be a rock dark asteroid of mixed carbonaceous materials, while scanning the asteroid field in the Tereshkova system, you picked up some anomalous readings. After some daring maneuvering by Joker, a small team was able to recover some debris from one of the larger rocks. Among the items discovered was a League of One medallion. Yeah, this is supposed to be one of those systems that has 2 stars, but you only see one. Hansalra is a small hydrogen-helium gas giant. It has unusually large amounts of nitrogen in the upper atmosphere, which glow purple when ionized by the solar wind. Hansalra's convenience as a place to dump drive charge has left its orbit littered with debris dumped overboard by visiting groups. Ugh. Damn litterers. Antibar is a cold terrestrial world with an atmosphere of methane and argon. Its frozen surface is mainly composed of iron and with deposits of magnesium. The world has been noted as a possible target for long-term terraforming. If the atmosphere could be increased to the thickness of Earth's, the global average temperature would rise by 10 degrees Celsius. Oh, which would put it at a whopping -24. Woo! Positively summery. Antibar's combination of low temperatures, high-speed surface winds, and low visibility make it dangerous to explore on foot. Fine, I'll use a tank. Italian Wrex. There am I. Okay, this looks like a thresher nest. Yeah. Oh, jeez. Have I not gotten one? There it is. Jeez, I could not for the life of me find the last. repair soon, but... Got it. And I think I actually will give my poor tank a quick heal. Because why not? The vehicle and the human corpses show the telltale signs of Geth weapons fire. The Geth have been mangled by the Thresher Maw. At least they got what was coming to them. Oh, and this looks like a thing. Vaguely familiar. Oh, that was quick. Searching the ruins, you discover a Prothean data disk. It must have been dropped by one of the Thresher Maw's many victims. Or, it's possible that it's been sitting here for 50,000 years, considering this ruin looks exactly like one we found on another planet. Anyways... I could be wrong, but I feel like that's the last Thresher Maw I'll be fighting in this game as well. That was my last chance to finish off a Thresher Maw on foot, and I wasted it. Oh well. Which side of this are you on? Oh, here we go. Perfect. Magnesium. One more leaf medallion. One more. Very few planets. This, unfortunately, there's no... I wanted to try to get up on the hill, get a better angle, but... reinforcements. Look at how tough the Geth primes are.
Let's hit the next base.
See how tough the primes are? Like, they take a direct rocket shot, and that's not enough to kill them. They are some big boys. This looks like it's probably going to be my best approach. Alright, I'm feeling right lazy. So there's mineral deposits right around, somewhere around here, and another one somewhere around here. Some lithium and mercury, respectively. Huh. And... huh? Apparently there's a suburban town you can actually view on Antibar through like console command shenanigans. That'll allow you to sort of free roam or to control the camera to go outside the borders. Alright. Pomal is an enormous terrestrial planet with a very dense atmosphere of carbon dioxide and sodium. The surface is scorching hot and mainly composed of sodium oxides and deposits of nickel. There is evidence that Pomal was once covered with broad, shallow seas. Should a probe ever be sent to the surface, a check for ancient fossil life might prove invaluable. Good to know. Trager is a tiny ice dwarf with a trace atmosphere of xenon and krypton. The frozen surface is mainly composed of water ice and ammonia. Cryovolcanic processes are gradually repaving the surface with sheets of fresh ice. And lithium. Theshica is a standard hydrogen-helium gas giant. In the past, it was often used as a drive discharge point for pirates raiding human settlements from the Terminus systems. In 2178, the Alliance set up a network of covert sensing devices on Theshica's moons. Recordings of pirate FTL exit vectors over the course of 6 months led the Alliance Navy to 8 major pirate anchorages. Since the Theshica raids, no ships from the Terminus have been reported in the Hong system. Pretty clever. Matar is a terrestrial planet with a thick atmosphere composed of nitrogen and krypton. Its frigid surface is mainly composed of sodium oxide with deposits of copper. Because of noxious surface gases, explorers are warned to use extreme caution. Matar lacks a magnetic field. This makes it useless for discharging FTL drive cores in orbit. The energetic particles of solar wind from Hong strike the upper atmosphere directly, ionizing the krypton. This gives the planet its distinctive minty green-white hue. Lovely planet. Scans of Matar revealed debris from a destroyed Asari freighter. Further scans uncovered a body which was brought on board. Dr. Chakwas examined it, but learned nothing about its origins. Among the Asari's personal effects, however, was one of Matriarch Delanaga's writings. Yet another one. Caspan is a classic pre-garden terrestrial world, with conditions similar to those on Earth millions of years ago. Its hot, humid atmosphere is mainly composed of nitrogen and carbon dioxide. An increasing amount of the surface is covered by simple lichen and algae. Should no unexpected calamity occur, these tiny plants will change the atmosphere to an Earth-like nitrogen-oxygen mix over the next few millennia. Due to its potential for future habitability and sapient life, Caspan has been designated a sanctuary world by the Citadel Council. Landing is prohibited by law, and any disturbances of the fragile young ecosystem will result in harsh fines and imprisonment. At present, the planet is passing through the debris trail of a long-period comet. Cool. Orbital period, similar to Earth. Gravity, similar to Earth. Day is almost twice as long as Earth. Kaden and Tally, why not? Alright, halfway there. Alright, let's head straight for the Geth outpost, I guess. Oh no. This planet may be a problem. No, come on. Come on, you stupidly designed planet. I forgot that this is one of the absolute worst planets in the entire game. Like, I've said this before on so many planets. I don't understand how this got through. I don't understand how this got through the quality testing. Like, it's just... How did no one at BioWare say, guys, this is a problem? Because it's impossible to traverse. Like, they made a planet that you can't explore. Come on. Good, got that. I'm up here. Should be able to get those 2 mineral resources now. once I get far enough away from the where'd they go? There they are. Wow, that was weird. They just completely disappeared off my mini-map for a couple minutes there. See, gotta be careful getting to this one. Not that I even need this. What was this? Samarium. But it was there, it was on the path. And I'm probably going to end up having to go all the way back down just so I can get back up in the right spot. Planet design for these side planets. Mass Effect 1 does have a few problems. I will say now that Mass Effect 1 is probably my favorite. Well, no, not probably. Mass Effect 1 is my favorite game in the trilogy. That said, it has its problems, and the utterly abysmal design of side planets is the biggest problem in the game. Oh, going down, I don't have a choice. Come on, just give me somewhere to... Wow, this Geth sniper is getting real lucky there. Rocket Trooper, you die. Who's left? Rocket Trooper, Rocket Trooper. And that. Use the reinforcements right on time. Bye! And yet, as Kaden noted, one more to go. But there is stuff to explore on this planet. Barely got that uranium in time. If I hadn't, I would have had to have done it again. Doesn't really matter. Not like I use Kaden much. Sure, why not? Energized plating 10. Getting a lot of assault rifles. Keep him with the pulse rifle, because why not? He's mostly a pistol guy anyway, based on his training. Oops, going at the map. So yeah, now I need to find a way out of this damn place. Mineral somewhere along the way. So I may as well try to pick that up first. There it is. Yeah, like I know you see me slipping and sliding around with the Mako and you're like, oh man, this guy can't drive the Mako at all. Believe me. It's hard not to just bounce around. The physics on this thing are just non-existent. But hey, I found some gold. And I'm almost done with the Mako. Because I'm almost done with the game. The Mako does not return in the second or third games. Wistfully. Interestingly, the second game initially didn't have any vehicle sections at all. Added some in DLC. Just so yeah, second game added some added vehicle sections in DLC. Vehicle's not very good, unfortunately. The third game has no vehicle sections at all. Not even as DLC. Buried under the beacon was an identification tag for Captain Thayan, probably. There is no indication of why he was hidden here, or who buried it in the first place. And is that the end of that? Nope. ID tag. I don't know if BioWare's done any sort of I'm trying to think here. Let's see. I don't think Knights of the Old Republic didn't really have vehicle sections that I can recall. It did have... Jeez. I do remember Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I do remember it had sections where like you were controlling gun turret. But I don't think any actual vehicle, no real vehicle sections. Not sure if Dragon Age, if they've got any sort of ridiculous horse sections where the horse controls like utter garbage. I don't know if that's a thing, but truth is, vehicles are clearly not something that that BioWare is strong at, which is presumably why they just didn't even try for vehicle sections in the third game, in the third Mass Effect. Not that BioWare is alone in having spotty vehicles in video games. Back off for a second to let my shields regenerate just a little bit. Do that, already impatient. And what have we here? Pretty much nothing, honestly. The Geth array is transmitting regular data bursts on an encrypted channel, using the Alliance's own FTL convoys. It's not clear where the data is being directed, nor the content of the signal. Turn off GethCom. And that, I believe, is the end of this planet, yes. Good freaking riddance. Alright. Vamshi. It would actually, before I do this one, let's take a break from planets. Oops. The Krogan evolved in a lethal ecology. Over millions of years, the Grimm struggled to survive larger predators, virulent disease, and resource scarcity on their homeworld, Tuchanka, turned the lizards into quintessential survivors. Perhaps the most telling indicator of Tuchanka's lethality is the Krogan eyes. Although they are a predator species by any standard definition, their eyes evolved to be wide-set, as an Earth prey species, like deer and cattle. Krogan eyes have a 240-degree arc of vision, better suited for spotting enemies sneaking up on them than for pursuit. Huh. For some reason I thought I'd already had read that in the Codex, but apparently I hadn't. But I have mentioned it, I know. Physically, the Krogan are nigh indestructible, with a tough hide impervious to any melee weapon short of a molecular blade. While they feel pain, it does not affect their ability to concentrate. They have multiple functioning examples of all major organs, and can often survive the loss of one or two of any type. Rather than a nervous system, they have an electrically conducive second circulatory system. A Krogan can never be paralyzed. They may lose some of this fluid, but it can be replaced by the body in time. The hump on a Krogan's back stores water and fats that help the Krogan survive lean times. Large humps are a point of pride. Being well fed implies the Krogan is a superior predator. The most widely known biological feature of the Krogan is their incredible birth rate and rapid maturity. Once freed from the hostile cauldron of Tuchanka, the Krogan population swelled into a numberless horde. Only the genophage kept them from outbreeding the combined council races. Now, the rare Krogan females capable of bringing a child to term are treated like strategic resources. Warlords will trade them at diplomacy, or, more frequently, fight wars over them. Krogan economy. The Migrant fleet has little economic base, operating in a state of perpetual hand-to-mouth. While Quarian ships include light manufacturing and assembly plants, they lack heavy industries such as refining and shipbuilding. The fleet has tankers for water purification and oxygen cracking, but the space-intensive nature of agriculture limits food production. A single disaster could destroy the fragile balance. The Quarians earn income in creative ways. Because the government is obliged to provide food, water, air, and medical support for every individual, the Conclave strategically determines the course of the fleet to bring in resources and income. A species who suspects the migrant fleet is heading towards their space often offers a gift of surplus starships, fuel, and resources to convince the Conclave to alter course. As the fleet passes through a system, swarms of mining vessels work over asteroids for metals and siliceous materials, and cometary bodies for water, ice, and organics. Quarian miners are adept at locating and strip mining spaceborne resources. This sparks conflict with corporations already working the system. Large mining concerns spend millions on lobbyists and public relations portraying the Quarians as the locusts, devouring the resources of a system before moving on. The greatest asset of the Quarians is their rarefied skills. Most are experienced miners. Due to their life of perpetual salvage and repair, they are skilled engineers and technicians. More than once, the very corporations that lobby against the Quarians have made backroom deals with the fleet, arranging for skilled Quarians to fill space engineering jobs that other species would demand higher wages for. Quarians are widely hated among the working classes. The Quarians are coming to take our jobs is a common response to the fleet's approach. Well, that's not very subtle on BioWare's part. Yeah, so... They took our jobs! Government. Due to the Quarians' precarious existence and the need to enforce strict rationing, government is somewhat autocratic. The migrant fleet's operations are directed by the Admiralty, a board of five military officers who are advised by a legislative body called the Conclave. Each vessel in the fleet has the right to send representatives to the Conclave aboard the flagship. The number of representatives is based on crew size. Larger clans, with bigger ships and more boats, form the cores of political blocs. Opposition comes from the Outriders coalition, with delegates from thousands of smaller ships. The Admiralty refers to the Conclave's decisions in most circumstances. However, if all 5 members agree that a Conclave decision jeopardizes the survival of the fleet and cannot get the Conclave to address their concerns, they have the right to summarily overturn the legislative decision. After the Admiralty uses this extraordinary power, they must resign. If the Admiralty does not step down after using their veto, the rest of the military is obliged to arrest them. Potentially dangerous, but apparently it's worked out well for them, so. Each ship captain has authority over his vessel, but is advised by an elected civilian council, just as the Admiralty is advised by the Conclave. This relationship may range from cooperation to polite tolerance to outright hostility, but any captain who overrules his council without good reason is relieved of command by the Admiralty. Many Quarian ships are owned by clans who pool their resources to purchase used vessels from private sellers. Large ships are prestigious for big, rich clans, but a small ship means status for a small clan with enough personal wealth to afford a private vessel. Clan vessel captains are not subject to dismissal by the Admiralty. Abusive captains are a family problem if they do not disrupt the operations of the fleet. Law and defense. Although the Conclave establishes civil law much as any planet-based democracy, enforcement and trials are more unique. After the flight from the Geth, there were few constables to police the millions of civilians aboard the fleet, so the Navy parceled out Marine squads to maintain order and enforce the law. Today, Quarian Marines have evolved training and tactics akin to civilian police, but remain adept at combat in the confined spaces of a starship, and fully under the command of the military. Once taken into custody, the accused is brought before the ship's captain for judgment. While the ship's council may make recommendations, tradition holds that the captain has absolute authority in matters of discipline. Most are lenient, assigning additional or more odious maintenance tasks aboard the ship. Persistent recidivists are accidentally left on the next habitable world. This practice of abandoning criminals on other people's planets is a point of friction between the Quarians and the systems they pass through. Captains rarely have another choice. With space and resources at a premium, supporting a non-productive prison population is not an option. In the early years, many Quarian freighters were armed and used as irregular privateers. Civilian ships still show a strong preference for armament, making them unpopular targets for pirates. Though they have rebuilt their military, there are still mere hundreds of warships to protect tens of thousands of ships. The Quarian Navy follows strict routines of patrol and takes no chances. If the intent of an approaching ship can't be ascertained, they shoot to kill. The Migrant Fleet is the largest concentration of starfaring vessels in the galaxy, sprawling across millions of kilometers. It can take days for the entire fleet to pass through a mass relay. When the Quarians fled their homeworld, the fleet was a motley aggregation of freighters, shuttles, industrial vessels, and the odd warship. After 3 centuries, all have been modified to support larger crews as comfortably as possible. As the Quarians achieved stability, they began weeding out the ships least suitable for long-term habitation, selling them and pooling the money to buy larger and more space-worthy hulls. This process is ongoing, as vessels wear out and break down. While some ships enjoy dedicated cabins with full privacy and sanitary facilities, many more are former freighters, whose cargo bays and containers are pressurized and divided into family spaces using simple metal cubicle bulkheads. The Quarians enliven these austere spaces with colorful quilts and tapestries, which also help muffle sound. The day-to-day operations of the fleet traffic control, station keeping, supply distribution, and so on, are under military jurisdiction. Those ship captains have the authority to deviate from their assigned positions, and may leave the fleet at any time. They are assumed to do so at their own risk. As the migrant fleet moves around the galaxy, many ships split off to pursue individual goals, returning days or years later. Pilgrimage! When Quarians of the migrant fleet reach young adulthood, they must leave their birth ship and find a new crew to accept them as permanent residents. To prove themselves, they must recover something of value. This is offered to their prospective captain as proof they will not be a mere burden on the shoestring resources of the ship. This process is called the pilgrimage. Stripped of ritual, the pilgrimage is merely an attempt to maintain genetic diversity within the small, relatively isolated population bases that make up the migrant fleet. If the young stayed and married within their birth vessel, the risk of inbreeding would increase sharply. Quarians are surgically fitted with their various immunity-boosting implants in preparation for leaving on pilgrimage. Having grown up within the sterile, controlled environment of the migrant fleet ships, Quarians have virtually no natural immune system. Religion. And this is the last. The ancient Quarians practiced ancestor worship. Even after abandoning faith for secularism, Quarians continued to revere the wisdom of elders. As time passed and technology advanced, they inevitably turned their knowledge to preserving the personalities and memories of the elderly as computer virtual intelligences. These recordings became a repository of knowledge and wisdom, stored in a central databank and available through any extranet connection. They held no illusions that this was a form of immortality. Like all virtual intelligences, their electronically preserved ancestors were not truly sapient. This was considered a surmountable problem. Sapience could surely be reduced to simple mathematics. The Quarians began exhaustive research into creating artificial intelligence so they could learn to escape the bounds of mortality and give their ancestral records true awareness. Unfortunately, the life the Quarians created did not accept the same truths they did. The Geth destroyed the ancestor databanks when they took over. In the centuries since they evacuated their homeworld, most Quarians have returned to religion in various forms. Many believe that the rise of the Geth and the destruction of their ancestors were chastisement for arrogantly forsaking the old ways and venerating self-made idols. Others have a more philosophical outlook, believing that their race was indeed arrogant, but no supernatural arrogant agency lay behind the Geth revolt. Rather, the Quarians' actions brought their own doom. Either way, every Quarian would agree that their own hubris cost them their homeworld. This one? I don't think I read this one. Although Turians have a strict moral code, their belief in individual responsibility means that the concepts of good and evil are simply the individual's choice between egotism and altruism in any given decision. They have no concept of good deities that encourage noble behavior, or evil ones that tempt individuals to misdeeds. Turians believe that groups and areas have spirits that transcend the individual. For example, a military unit would be considered to have a literal spirit that embodies the honor and courage it is displayed. A city's spirit reflects the accomplishments and industry of its residents. An ancient tree's spirit reflects the beauty and tranquility of the area it grows within. These spirits are neither good nor evil, nor are they appealed to for intercession. Turians do not believe spirits can affect the world, but spirits can inspire the living. Prayers and rituals allow an individual to converse with the spirit for guidance or inspiration. For example, a Turian who finds his loyalty tested may appeal to the spirit of his unit, hoping to reconnect with the pride and honor of the group. A Turian who wishes to create a work of art may attempt to connect with the spirit of a beautiful location. Turians enjoy absolute freedom of religion and can practice whatever appeals to them so long as it does not impede anyone's ability to perform their duties. There are many practitioners of the Asari Ciarist philosophy. Since opening dialogue with the Human Systems Alliance, some Turians have embraced Confucianism and Zen Buddhism. Yay, I am done with the secondary Codex entries. And just about done with the primary. 3 in planets and locations, and I think 2 in ships and vehicles. There may be more secondary entries that come up but I'm done with the ones that I have got already. Almos is a hydrogen helium gas giant with traces of sodium darkening its atmosphere. Pragal is an enormous terrestrial world with an atmosphere of chlorine and ethane. Its surface is mainly composed of sulfur with deposits of aluminum. No landing has ever been attempted. While scanning the planet Pragal, you discovered several marker buoys orbiting it. Chief Engineer Adams secured some high-res optical images of the buoys, which appeared to have been neglected for some time. Each one was marked with the Baetica colony insignia. Magi orbits the Vamshi binary giant stars, another binary system where you only see one star. Vamshi A is a blue star of spectral class A4111, which burns at half again the temperature of Sol. Vamshi B is an aging red giant of class M5111, over 220 times the size of Sol. Magi has a thin atmosphere of methane and carbon monoxide. The difference in temperature between the hemisphere facing the sun and that facing deep space causes constant wind, stirring the silica and sodium dust out the surface. Unsavory characters from the Terminus systems occasionally use Magi for forms of cruel sport, dumping slaves, hostages, quarreling shipmates, or even, when bored, vicious animals on the surface. One must kill the other before they will be rescued from the lethal radiation of the giant stars. Yara and Tali. Let's go this way first. Start down here and work our way around to the top. Oh man, a planet that's more or less navigable. Thorium! Whoops. There it is. Alright, so what's down here? League of One medallion, please? Can I be finish that damn side quest? Nope. This strange-looking sensor has some ancient graffiti scribbled on it. It appears to be marked with the Edessan colony insignia. Over here. All right. Odd skull. This massive skull is scored by deflected mass accelerator shots. The xenobiology files in your hard suit computer can't identify the species. It must have been brought here from an unknown world. Big skull. Anyway, that's pretty much just a random mystery. I don't think we ever Yeah, we never really find out what that is. Actually, I think we might. I think we might find out in 3. Or at least I think it's hinted at. The answer is hinted at in 3, I think. Oh, actually, no, I don't think we do. That said, apparently, so in the game files, the model is named Wormneck Skull, and there is another species that we do come across in later games that are nicknamed Wormnecks. So they're probably... So that skull is probably from an alien, non-sentient alien species that was actually cut from this game. But which we do see a little bit in 2, and also a little bit in 3. But as you can tell by the size of that skull, they're scary. Beryllium. Yeah, those creatures, once we get to them, they are very, very scary. Alright. Magnesium. Where to go? There to go. And one more cannon. Where are you, buddy? Where are you? There you are. And that actually wasn't the last one. There you go. And reinforce again. It might actually be fun to try taking out Colossi Ion, but I'm not gonna bother just because it's honestly.
One of these outposts to be a main base of operations for the Geth incursion into this region.
Hold on. This receiver's picking up some kind of transmission. Based on the signal strength, I'd say it's coming from inside this star cluster.
It must be a message from the primary Geth base. We can use the signal to lock onto its location and eliminate them.
What do you know? We weren't actually done yet. This wasn't the last planet. Oh, I forgot that I leveled up. I'm gonna come so close to having stasis maxed out, but I'm not going to reach it. Or probably won't. And tally. Why not? Grissom, likely named for Virgil Gus Grissom, the second American into space, and one of the first American astronauts to have died in the line of duty on Apollo 1. And now we can wrap up this side quest. That's been going on for a while. Feels like it's been going on for a while. Benda has a dense atmosphere of sulfur dioxide and chlorine. Though technically classified as a terrestrial world, but the surface of the planet has never cooled enough for a crust to form. It is a global sea of molten rock. Like Zaharix, its atmosphere is being blasted away by the solar wind. Once its thick atmosphere is gone, Benda's surface will be a mere 400 degrees Celsius. Down from 3,000. Woo! Scans of Benda uncovered an ancient Solarian vessel. A small team was dispatched to search for valuables. The only item of value recovered was a League of One medallion. Finally! Zaharix's nitrogen argonaut atmosphere is being blasted away by the solar winds of the blue giant Grissom. Its surface consists of seas of loose silica dust, some kilometers deep, which periodically swirl into global sandstorms. Many unmanned probes to Zaharix have been lost over the years. Though investigation has attributed all to mechanical failure or computational error, a popular extranet meme insists the entire planet is composed of dormant nanotechnology, created millennia ago by a race even more advanced than the Protheans. According to the story, Zaharix's silicate dust is actually disassembler robots, which periodically awaken to defend themselves. Though discounted by every reputable scientist, this theory has been popularized by a series of sensationalistic texts by Asari author Delsai Orthisa. Even aliens have ridiculous conspiracy theories. There's something, and a beryllium. Something weirdly comforting about that thought. There we go. Asteroid composed of mixed metals and silicates with polonium. Notenban is a hydrogen alien gas giant with traces of ammonia. Molecular nitrogen is present in the highest levels of the atmosphere, giving the planet its odd violet tint. That is pretty. It does have a pretty tint. The upper levels of Notenban's atmosphere are inhabited by shoals of tiny ammonia-based life forms, no larger or more complex than the plankton of Earth's oceans. Held aloft by air pressure and wind, these bioluminescent creatures constantly flee from the approach of the Terminator. Should they be exposed to the light and heat of Grissom, they die. Huh. That is very cool. And Sulcrum, let's finish this damn mission. Sulcrum is the largest moon of the gas giant Notenban. It has a trace atmosphere of krypton and xenon. The crust is composed of various metals with deposits of sodium. As with every body in the solar system, the surface is scorching hot and thoroughly irradiated by the blue giant Grissom. Surface excursions without proper protective gear are certain to prove fatal. On approach to Notenban, Normandy's passive sensor array intercepted a fragmentary code of transmission from the surface of Sulcrum. Attempts to decrypt the message were fruitless. It does not appear to be in any software coding language used by the Citadel races. And finish it up with Garrus and Tally. Everyone gets a shot on. Everyone gets a chance on this mission, or on this little set of missions. Four points. Sure, why not? Sure, why not? I'm here, so... go straight for the nearest thing first. Yeah, this is gonna be kind of a longer episode, I guess, just because multiple planets. 5 total planets. I mean, they're all quick, but... well, this is cool. Asari capsule. There were several artifacts stored here, all worthless except for one of Matriarch Dilnaga's writings. Whether it was uncovered at this dig site or elsewhere is unclear. Why do the Asari just... completely litter the galaxy with this lady's writings? Yo, they just left her writings everywhere. Clean up after yourselves, Asari, come on. Have a little more consideration for the rest of the galaxy. It's not like any of these collection quests are actually good for anything anyway. Just, money and experience. Big shields for her. And let's go finish off the Geth. I completely forgot where I initially got this side quest from, but you can also get it from a console on Vermeer, which I haven't been to yet. But once I get there, as with all of those sort of core mission planets have consoles you can hack, which which tell you about other. Why would you die? There it is. Kidding me, you're still alive, dude? Dude, just go down already. Who's left? Kept firing a rocket right through the gap. Lucky son of a gun. Interestingly, Okay. Yeah, interestingly, despite being having one of the round exteriors, it's one of the 2-floor interiors. Whoa. Oh, jeez. We got a prime up here. There's that guy.
Charging up.
As the last Geth falls, you hear music from across the room. On the monitor, a Quarian stands before a hushed crowd, warbling a mournful a cappella of worlds and innocence lost. The recorded song is dispatched to the Geth worlds behind the Perseus Veil. The transmitter shuts down. Interesting. That suggests some degree of culture for the Geth. At least, so it seems to me is that it suggests some level of culture. You discover a number of encrypted Geth data files. In their proper hands, they could reveal much about the evolution of the Geth since the banishment of the Quarians. You can guess who the right hands are. So, sadly, I still have one more thing to do once I get back to the ship. So the mission's not over just yet.
Just lead the way.
I mean, the mission's over, but not quite the end of the episode just yet, but close. Very, very close. And once again, I'm not going to bother with the 2 minerals that are still out there. There's one somewhere right around this area. Another one right around this area. Thorium and uranium. Yeah. Kind of interesting that they used one of the that they sort of mixed the two, or mixed two of the facility types for this. Alright. At long last, let's wrap up this entire string of side quests. There you go. You've acquired detailed data files from a Geth outpost. Given the history of the Quarians, these might be of interest to Tally. Like I said, easy to guess who the right hands were.
Shepard, I need to talk to you. It's important.
Is something wrong?
You know the data you took from those Geth control nodes? The information you uploaded to Alliance Control? I want a copy of it.
You want to bring this data back to the migrant fleet?
Those files have information that could be vital to our efforts to understand the Geth. It could be the key to helping us reclaim our homeworld.
If I give you this data, your pilgrimage is over. You'll go back to your own people.
Not right away. I'll stay with you as long as it takes to stop Seren. But my people need this.
You think you can use this information to destroy your enemy?
Not right away. We will need to study it. It could take years, but it will give us new insight into how the Geth have changed and evolved over the past centuries.
Yeah, right.
Go ahead. Make a copy.
I'm not going to turn down my buddy.
People, I owe you a great debt. One I can never repay. The only thing I can offer in return is what you already have. My solemn promise to stay with you until Seren and his Geth armies are defeated.
I never wanted anything more.
Thank you, Shepard.
And look at this. Completely empty. Alright. We're done. Not quite ready for the next planet. I do still have Pinnacle Station. That said, that last planet I was on, that is literally the... There is one more planet I can go to land on to explore. There's nothing there for me at this point. It's specifically for the Renegade. For Renegade Shepard. Is it worth going there? Probably not. Yeah, so like when you hit 75% Renegade, you get a special mission that takes you to another planet. You know what? I actually will end up going there next episode. Just to make that... Yeah, just because it is the last one, the last planet you can go to. For right now, though, done. I'm done with this string of missions. Whee! So, yeah, thanks for watching, and have a great day.